What's up, y'all? Good morning. It is so crazy because the Russians, it's going to be a terrorist attack in the United States, point blank, period. I don't know when, but it's going to be one. It's going to be one. And they know it. And Biden is stupid. They need to get him out of here. He is stupid. That's what I'm saying. This is why when I know, like, when I see stupidity, I just can't stand with that. And it's sad because that's making me want to stand with the ops. Russians are supposed to be the ops because I'm an American citizen or U.S. citizen. I'm supposed to be on our side, but I can't even be on our side because I can't stand stupidity. He is stupid. He need to sit. They need to get him out of here. Y'all should have never put him in office in the first place. He just is stupid. His eyes in his picture, it's giving demonic. Him in that damn Puttin. I ain't even a fan of Puttin or nothing, but you know, he a little bit smarter. But the reason why I'm saying this is because y'all know, like, every so often I just get an update of what's going on with the war stuff. Look, here she go, every time hating. And this little article I'm saying here is saying U.S. President Joe Biden has it says U.S. President Joe Biden has urged Russian President Vladimir Putin to not use tactical nuclear or chemical weapons after a series of military losses in Ukraine. So it says U.S. President Joe Biden has urged Russian President Vladimir Putin to not use tactical nuclear or chemical weapons after a series of military losses in Ukraine. It says the news reporters asked what he would say to Putin if he considered using such weapons. Biden said, don't. It would change the face of war unlike anything since World War II. They're hinting, I told you, it's going to be World War III. But the end of this year, this is going to be a messy winter to 2023. That's why I do believe it's about to get crazy. Like, I mean, just look at all the evidence that we're having, like, from, and I just seen somewhere, maybe I might get to that, because I told y'all that Russia and them have been purposely bombing the grain over there in Ukraine. Where do our grain come from? What I just did in that last video about the railroad strike. It's going to get messy here. It's going to get messy because they're purposely bombing over there. And they're stealing the grain. I just read on here something that Russia is actually stealing Ukraine's grain that they have left for their civilians. So if they're taking away their grain because they know that that's what they're known for. Ukraine is known for your grain, and in SWOT analysis, like I keep talking about, you go for people's strengths. Okay, how can I get you? Y'all are getting all this military defense from the U.S., who got a tight military defense. What that little part I was just looking at up here. But y'all getting all this help from the United States. Like, we're running out of sources. This is why they feel like they have to go to nuclear defense. And I was just reading on here. Where is that part? That it says Russian military maintains the world's largest stockpile of nuclear weaponry. The Russian defense budget amounts of less than 1/10 of the U.S. defense budget. Okay, that don't even matter, that part. But they don't have much as a hands-on military, like with their weapons, but they have the nuclear weapons. They have more nuclear power than we have, and that's why they're going to use it, even though that goes against the laws of war. Because the nuclear weapons affects the civilians, and during the laws of war, you're not supposed to affect the civilians. But y'all know how I go. When it's up, it's up. It's up and it's stuck. All bets is off with Russia, because when you feel like you weak when you down to nothing, and they troops is taking plenty losses over there in Ukraine, because Ukraine is getting backed by us. Our defense team is A1, clearly. And we the ones with that. And because we got all them weapons, we're known for our technology and our weapons. That's what the U.S. strength is, technology and weapons. But Russia's strength is nuclear weapons. So they're like, okay, we're forced with nothing else. You guys are leaving us with no other option. You think we just gonna bow down and let y'all just defeat us? That's why they going over there stealing their grain. Let me see if I can pull up that part about Russia stealing Ukraine's grain. Russia stealing grain. It says Russia is using a secret network to steal Ukrainian grain. See, that's what this whole thing been about. And it's just so funny because all of this, it's like in the 3D, it's this, but in the spiritual realm, like, it's really this greed thing. It's just so funny how, like, the Bible just really is like relating to this stuff. Like, how everything is just the same. Like what I tell y'all in that railroad strike video about Joseph had to store up grain in the cities, like in Egypt, all of that stuff. Like, it's just crazy how that relates to this. If people not even, most people, I mean, obviously you guys that are watching these videos, y'all are tapped in. And you guys that are watching these videos, I hope you guys are truly preparing. Like, I keep telling y'all, remember what happened with COVID, dude. Do we think that we just exempt from that happening again? Y'all see what type of ludicrous we're dealing with. What type of dummy of a president we had. Because that's what I wanted to talk about. Because y'all see what they're saying about Russians are planning to, they basically they're being left with no other choice but to have to go to nuclear weapons and do nuclear attacks over Ukraine. And we're going down too, because we are the one backing it. Look how much Biden is in the mix of all of this. He's in the mix of it all. He going over there, just saying something else. He going over there to whoever just got somebody else. I guess he might have a talk with somebody over there. Like, where is that one? And this says, U.S. senators introduce bill to delegate Russian state sponsor of terrorism. I'm gonna just read it to y'all. It says, Democratic and Republican U.S. senators introduced legislation on Wednesday. When was this article done? This article was from September 14th. It says they introduced legislation on Wednesday that would designate Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism, a label pushed for by Ukraine but opposed by President Joe Biden's administration. Ukraine is basically telling that, first of all, Ukraine and U.S., we're on the same team basically. Everybody's against Russia right now, except the people in the U.S. is sanctioning anybody that's trying to help out Russia right now. Anybody that's trying to help them out, they're sanctioning them. They trying to literally eliminate them, and they trying to make them bow down. But they like, bow down to who? Bow down to who? Who you think I'm about to bow down to? We them boys too. But it says, and it was opposed by President Joe Biden's administration. I'm gonna finish reading this. It says the need for this measure is more pressing now than ever before. Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal, whatever his name is, one of the bill's sponsors, told a news conference, citing the killings of civilians and other brutal, cruel oppression in Ukraine since Russia's invasion. Republican Senator Lindsey, which is another bill sponsor, said that the designation would send a strong signal of support for Ukraine to Kyiv, but also to U.S. allies, while imposing stiff penalties on Russia, like allowing it to be sued in U.S. courts for its actions in Ukraine and tightening sanctions. It was not immediately clear when or whether the measure might come up for vote, but the two senators have been advocating for the designation for months, since Kyiv in July to promote it. What happened in Kyiv? That was in July. as Russia attacked when Ukraine countries in Kyiv. Maybe that's a country over there in Ukraine. Let's see, where is Ukraine grain grown? Oh, so you know what? And we spend 143 million. That was in 2019. We spent 143 million in 2019 importing agricultural products from Ukraine, which is more than likely the grain, because everything we eat here has their. And it says Ukraine can't export most of its grain due to the Russian blockade of its Black Sea ports, because they ship overseas. Everything comes on the boats. Them containers that I was talking about in the, like how all of this relates. Them containers, the boats, they ship them on the seas. I'm gonna show y'all a picture. I'm sure y'all know, but just in case y'all don't. They send them on the boats, like that. Those same containers, are those not the same containers that then goes on the trains and gets transported to, you know, the warehouses and everything, and, you know, the warehouses and then to the stores and so on. So if they're blocking Russians that got bombs, y'all know, just like, that's what the military is. You got your water defense teams, your air defense team, your land defense team. Because at first I really didn't, you know, a while back, I really didn't understand everything about the military, like why we got the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, and all that. But now, of course, now I get it, because you need defense in the air. Just like the police have their helicopters that when they looking for a criminal, you got to have air defense. You have to have somebody watching from the air. You have to have somebody watching from the ground. You need somebody watching from the waters, because these are all the ways in which they get stuff into the countries. Look at how we were shipped over here to the damn Americas on a boat. Look at how that time JP Morgan Chase, they was trying to get that cocaine over here on a boat. And then from the boat, they try to get it through either boat or air. But of course, an airplane can't carry all these heavy containers filled with heavy flour. A bag of flour is heavy. Bag of sugar and stuff, that stuff is heavy. If you got a bunch of flour coming over here, you got a bunch of things of flour coming over here in those containers, those are heavy. You're not putting those on an airplane. You're putting them on a boat. But because their defense team, Russia got basically bombs in the Black Sea, which is the main port that Ukraine uses to ship stuff out. So they already know, if we ship that stuff out, they got these. We got to be very strategic about our route, because we don't know. We might be sailing the whole time it's a bomb right there. Now, boom. Our troops blown up, our supplies blown up, everything blown up. So they don't even want to take that chance, because as I see here, and that's also why it's going to be a famine in the land, because Ukraine, the grain that they have enough needs to be sustained. They need to be able to keep it, because they can't even plant right now. And it says right here, where was I looking at? It says 95% of Ukraine wheat is winter wheat, planted in the fall and harvested during July and August of the following year. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe the famine is going to be next year then. But for us, it may start this year, because they haven't even been able to really ship out. So everything that's on our stores now, that is practically it. Anything that's at these warehouses, all these company warehouses, that everything the truckers are sending out, this stuff is practically it. because they're not even able to plant no more because they're bombing up all their areas. Hello, like, let's think about this stuff here. Right now is the time that they're supposed to be planting the grain to be harvested for next year. It's fall. This is the fall season. Well, in a couple days, because fall starts September 21st, but the war is still going on. It's been going on since February. So not only the grain that they had from last fall of 2021 that was supposed to be harvested now, actually, because they say they harvested in July and August, so in the past 3 months, they haven't been able to harvest that grain. And a little bit that they have harvested or had stored away, they need that for their own civilians. They don't have much to send us. This is why it's about to be a severe famine in the land. Stock up now on your flour. On your flour and your cornmeal. Period. Stock up on it now. Like, wow. This is absurd. But anyhow, what I was saying, back to that whole terrorism thing. Because Biden is stupid. Why are you opposed to the bill that they're trying to put in place? Well, his administration is stupid. Why are you opposed to the bill that they're trying to put in place to protect us? They're trying to protect us because they have a feeling of what's to come. Iran is on the list of terrorism too. It was Iran and I think 2 other countries or 3 other countries that I saw on the list. Okay, because it says Moscow. Okay, let me read. Let me see. Okay. It says Biden has said he does not plan such a designation for Russia. Administration officials say that they do not feel that the designation is the most effective way to hold Russia accountable and that it could hinder deliveries of humanitarian assistance to Ukraine. They so worried about helping out Ukraine that you leaving us wide open. Are you stupid? I need to be the world leader. It's like, no. That's too much pressure, baby. But what about me? I don't fold under pressure. Who wants smoke is free. What it do? Let's go. Get suited and booted. Let's do this. Let's do this. It says we have to take into account the consequences intended and unintended by such a designation, he said. We are engaging with Congress on tools that will continue to have analogous implications for the Russian economy. For the Russian government, that would not have those unintended consequences. Moscow has told Washington that diplomatic ties would be badly damaged and could even be broken off if Russia were added to the state sponsor of terrorism list, which currently includes, so the list currently of terrorism includes Iran, which we know they hit us on 9/11, North Korea, Cuba, and Syria. See, I don't know, Syria. I don't know, because I don't, like I told y'all before, in my videos before, I don't really know that much about my U.S. history, because I hated history in school. But it's so funny that now, everything I used to hate then, I now like love now as an adult. Like, I used to just like love math and stuff like that in school, math and reading, like, but now I'm really into the other stuff, the science behind things and the everything. That's what I'm saying. God literally, this stuff makes sense. And it says Bluthemall and Graham's bill includes a provision that will allow a U.S. president to waive the designation for national security reasons after certifying to Congress that Russia is no longer supporting acts of international terrorism. Yeah, y'all think they ain't. Y'all think they ain't. They already planning their attack. Like I said before in them videos. They already planning their attack. They already planning it. And the fact that they trying to prepare for that because they have a feeling these senators, these senators, they ain't that stupid, obviously. But the Biden administration just like, no, I don't think we need that. I don't think it's gonna go that far. We got Russia. The things we're gonna do to them, they gonna back down. We're not gonna need. They wouldn't dare. They feel like, oh, Russia wouldn't dare come for us like that. Do you really think Russia's gonna come for us like that? Biden is just, somebody needs to sit his butt down somewhere. And I told you, I seen something. I got an email about, let me see if I can find that thing. And somebody is gonna sit him down. Just like them other damn presidents been assassinated. I got an email about Biden's assassination or something like that. And this is biblical. That was part of it. When I was reading that Bible, part of the fall of Babylon and stuff, all of that stuff, that was in there. And Putin, I think he gonna go down too. Because right after they got us, we got them back. In the Bible, that's what happened. The fall of Babylon, the fall of Jerusalem. That's what I was reading in there. Because I think they are going to come over here and get his ass. And we're going to go right back and get him too. Okay, y'all. I just sent it to this iPad. Because it say right here, and this was on, because I told y'all in that video. So this was on September 2nd. It said President Biden's fiery speech in Philadelphia denouncing former President Donald Trump and what he described as an extreme MAGA ideology has sparked online calls for violence, including death threats against the president. Biden remarks also prompted immediate concerns for senior counterterrorism officials who said that they fear that calling Trump supporters extremists will be viewed as a call to arms and would only inflame an already volatile threat environment. It says too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal, Biden said. Thursday night at Independence Hall, flanked by 2 U.S. Marines, Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. Ooh. By Friday afternoon, posts on forums. Okay, y'all. I forgot where I left off at. But it says, by Friday afternoon, posts on forums popular among white supremacists and far-right extremists call for the assassination of Biden and named Jewish administration officials as potential targets. Declarations of civil war were also appearing, according to the documents detailing some of the threats. One user posted a series of violent threats accusing Biden of stealing the election. Trump and many of his supporters, I'm skipping some stuff. It says Trump and many of his supporters have long claimed without evidence that the 2020 presidential election won by Biden was stolen from Trump due to widespread voter fraud. Wow. It says Site Intelligence Group, which tracks online extremist activity, issued several threat alerts detailing calls for violence in response to Biden's speech. The potential threats were posted in the online forums tied to the Proud Boys, neo-Nazis, and other extremist groups. This is further confirmation. I ain't even about to read the rest of this. What did it say? During Biden's speech, 4 current U.S. domestic counterterrorism officials told Yahoo News that they were concerned the president's words would further divide the nation and lead to increased threats against government and law enforcement officials. I fear he is lighting a fuse that is not going to go well, one senior Biden counterterrorism official said. Sadly, this is not a united speech, but a very divisive one. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not about to read all of this. It says, I am concerned, however, that his words will be used by America's adversaries to incite attacks by those who believe that violence is an acceptable way to express one's political or ideological beliefs, he said. Wow. That in itself. And then it says the president's message couldn't have been more clear. There's no place in our democracy for political violence. The statement said none. And that some of the more extreme elements in our society are now calling for more violence only proves at the very point of his speech that we are in a dangerous moment right now. A moment where simply stating the truth about the fragility of our democracy brings out the worst instincts of those who want to tear it apart. The president was right to call them out. The bigger risk to the body politic would have been to remain silent in the face of such a threat. It says some Republicans and former Trump administration officials have been critical of Biden's strong rhetoric, accusing. Don't mind this girl snoring over here. Say Lonnie, you snoring too loud, sis. Say Lonnie, you is snoring too loud. She sleep like her father, bruh. All that loud noise going on. Anyways, it say accusing the president of being divisive. I don't understand how Joe Biden is so angry when his party controls the House, the Senate, and the White House. Richard Grenell, acting director of national intelligence during the Trump administration, told Yahoo News on Friday. He should be telling America how great the country is under his leadership, and instead, he's attacking Republicans. It says on Friday, Biden defended his remarks, noting that he does not believe all Trump supporters are a threat to the country. I do think anyone who calls for the use of violence, fails to condemn violence when it is used, refuse to acknowledge when an election has been won, insists upon changing the way that you count votes, that is a threat to democracy. To democracy and everything we stand for, he said on Friday. I'm dead. Because, I'm trying to learn that violence isn't the answer too. That's how I know I'm a Republican at heart. I've been groomed to be a Democrat, but I think I'm a Republican for real. Because I'm conservative. I'm conservative with my beliefs like Republicans are. Like with this whole abortion thing, with all of that stuff. Like, yeah. Now I understand it more. See, before I didn't understand. I just was like, you're a Republican? Because even people in my family are like Republicans. Well, kind of extended family, but I'm like, oh, you're a Republican? Oh. But now I kind of get it. It's just because we ain't with the BS. We ain't with the foolery. But anyways, because I don't want y'all to be getting triggered. It ain't no shade on nothing. For me, I don't really give a damn what y'all people out here doing. As long as you ain't affecting the kids. As long as you ain't trying to attack the children with your shenanigans. Because anybody want to attack kids, yes, I'm against you. Period. If you believe in anything that goes into messing up a child's mental health, physical well-being, I'm not with it. But furthermore, this just proves everything, because Biden believes that the Republicans, which is the Trump supporters, he feels that they are the ones that are violent. And like it was just talking about, basically him saying these things. But that part right there, when I was reading to y'all, and it said that we are in a dangerous moment right now, a moment where simply stating the truth about the fragility of our democracy brings out the worst instincts of those who want to tear it apart. And how I was talking about, I am concerned, however, that his words will be used by America's adversaries to incite attacks by those who believe that violence is an acceptable way to express one's political or ideological beliefs. Who is that? What have I told you about? Who is that? Our adversaries, Russia. And they killed, maybe that one video I told y'all where they killed the Russian supporter Alexander Dugin, his daughter. They killed him because Alexander is the ideologist for he believes in ideology. He's an ideologist for Russia. It's just like it all relates, because I told y'all in them other videos how Trump and Putin, they on the same team. And I told y'all once before that her dad, he told me that that Trump is with the Russian mafia. Like, and they believe in violence. Look at what Russia is doing. Look at what we're talking about, the nuclear threats. Russia believes in violence. They don't believe in just let's just call it a truce. Let's just call it a truce. No, they want it back in blood. Look at what they did at the White House. Like, all of them are on the same team. The Trump and his supporters, the Mozzies, whatever they want to call them, the Proud Boys. Not the Proud Boys. They funny with this. It's kind of funny, but it's not, because our lives are on the line with this stuff. It's funny to me because I just can't believe these people act like this. But then they want to condemn the black people. They want to condemn us for us being thugs. Where did we get it from? Where did black people get this behavior from? They did this to us. They beat our asses. They done killed us, cut our dudes' balls off, hung them, slung them. They were the real initial thugs. They were the true initial thugs. What I keep talking to y'all about in my videos, how you only do as you see. When you are bred a certain way, you believe that that's what's normal. You believe that's the right way to be. White people have bred black people to be these thugs that they claim we are. The stealing nature, that the robbing and stealing and territorial thing that they got going on in our inner cities with our black people. Where do you think we get this behavior from? Where do you think we get it from? We didn't just learn it from nowhere. Because we didn't bring our little tails on over here. We did it. Well, to a degree now. Let's be clear. Because if we want to go back there, like Kanye West said, slavery was a choice, because y'all did not have to come over. Y'all did not have to be suckered when y'all got here. Even though y'all should have even stood y'all grounds before they even put y'all on a ship. Like, you know. But even when we got how you gonna let another person son you? Can't nobody just son me. If you come up to me, tell me, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. What? I mean, maybe if you got a gun in my head, you might be able to, but you better have that gun in my head all the time. And even still with that, if it's more of us than you, but it depends on circumstance with that gun in my head. But I'm best believe I ain't gonna stay down for long with that. You better have that gun to me the whole entire time. While you're kidnapping me, while you're doing, you better have it, because the moment you let that thing down, best believe I'll try to fight my way out of this. Best believe. But I don't even want to get off track, but this is where it all stems from. Look at the top leaders in the world. Look at who is running the world. The 1%. These political people and stuff, most of the time, y'all are the top 1%. Even with all the other countries. Y'all are the rich folk. Y'all the ones. Y'all are up there with Pope Francis and all of them who got all this wealth and stealing all the money from the people. Everything I've been talking to you about in these videos, these prophetic morning videos, all of these videos, if you go back on my channel, it all correlates. But then they want to talk about us. Where did black people learn this thug behavior from? Black people would have never went and did that to the White House. We ain't that bold. We still kind of got that slavery mentality that stuck like they did, how they got us over here in the first place. Because like I said, doing my research, I see, like I told y'all earlier in this video, I didn't even know my history, but I'm learning more and more. And them white people, them Europeans didn't even want the Africans. When they shipped the Africans over there to them, they was like, what are we going to do with these people? Why are you sending us these damn Africans? What are we going to do with them? But they realized, shoot, y'all are more valuable than the gold. That's the only reason why I feel like Africa sent them. They ain't want to send them they precious metals. They said, let's send you these people. These people can work for you. And look at what we do. Look at what's going on in the world. We make the 1% richer and richer and richer because we don't produce, we just consume. We don't produce anything. Look at America. We don't produce anything in America. We don't produce anything. We just export, 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 export. Well, actually import, 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 import. Like, because we ain't sending nothing out but technology. But you can't survive off of technology. Technology not gonna feed you. It's gonna bring in the money for you to go buy food. But technology, you can't eat a cell phone. You can't eat the iPad. You're gonna die. You need what them other countries got. That grain. Them crops. You know. But this video kind of long. But it's just very interesting. Like, we gotta wake up as a nation. Black, white, polka dot. Because at the end of the day, that's what, like they said in here, they thrive on keeping us divided. The U.S. government and most governments, they thrive on keeping us divided. Let's make it seem like, oh, this race is better than that one. This one is better than that one. Let's divide them, because if you keep the people divided, unity can't occur. And that plays more into the devil's scheme. And I always say the devil is the government. It plays into their scheme. If we keep them divided, keep them fighting against each other, it further goes with our agenda. It further allows us to have this classism that they have, the elite, the middle class, the poor. The middle class be so angry at the poor because the middle class feel like they work so hard to take care of the poor. My taxes gotta go to the poor. And then the 1%, how dare they not have to pay taxes? How dare they find the loopholes for the taxes when we pay all these taxes? We're taking care of everyone. Meanwhile, we're barely getting by because we're living paycheck to paycheck. Like, to see the whole grand scheme of things, this is why we have to wake up. We have to let God in our lives, because God is very upset about what's going on in the world. And this is why he's allowing so many things to go on. People be like, well, if God is real, why would he allow these things? And I be questioning God with certain things in my life too, but I understand why, because he needs you to release certain things. He needs you to do some things different. And until you do those things different, girl, you're going to keep struggling. You're going to keep going through this until you learn. You need to learn and unlearn. Unlearn what's keeping you back and learn the things that'll get you ahead. Like I just did in that video earlier, like, I was telling the girl in the comments because she was talking about she don't even want to, she might be gone by tomorrow, talking about killing herself. I said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, you won't say that. Like, talking some God is ignoring her. And I said, baby, I understand you, because I be feeling like that too. That's a whole nother video. But God ain't ignoring you. She said it's like he's blatantly ignoring me. He sees me begging. Like, it's still some stuff you gotta work on. Just like with me. The things he want to work on with me is this. But that's the thing. Part of me be like, do you really want me to release that total? He wanted me to release my idolizing my mom. That's a whole different video because it's supposed to be this. But if y'all want to, we'll talk about that later. I'll be talking about that in other videos. It's the little people pleasing, that Ahab spirit that he want me to release, and looking for validation from the wrong people, which is my family, you know. So if you watching this video, don't idolize anyone but God. I might just go ahead and do another video on that about these idols, because these people, I'll see y'all in the next video. But nonetheless, the moral of this video is prepare for what's to come to America. If you work in those inner cities, just like, I don't know, see if you can work from home, because it's about to get messy in these inner cities. It's going to get messy there first. Y'all know it always started in the inner city. Then it goes out to the suburbs, because you know who mostly in the inner cities. So you got to hit them first. But anyways, y'all, see y'all in the next video. Deuces.